Thank y'all for getting to speak with you.
Yes, sir.
And my issue, what I want to talk about mainly is the mask, because children don't put on masks like you do, They don't, because in this room, there's people with no mask on, there's people with it down over their nose, under here so they can breathe, and you put it on voluntarily. You make a decision. Well, I want to do this, or I'm going to get paid, or you compromise. And so my grievance is not with the mask; it's with that hand behind it, that's pushing it there. And for a child, this is instilling a lot of fear into them. And it's the big hand of government, and it's working through y'all. And you just have to remove that hand of force. Just like in this room, there's some with masks, some without, depending on their level of what they understand, what's going on, and if it's giving them comfort or not. I mean, there's a ton of misinformation. Everybody's being fed misinformation. This is just not y'all. This is a global thing. But these children are under your care. And I pulled my child out before this year because I saw this coming. I saw the fear, and I knew the fear was going to be acted on. And they were going to be in the middle of it. It was going to be their faces that were muzzled and their voices that were silenced. And so we need to stick up for them. And removing the force is the first thing you got to do, because force is the difference between inviting somebody in your house and having somebody break in your house. It's the difference between staying in a motel and staying in prison. It's a difference between a lot of things, but they're facing that force. They're facing intimidation. They're facing retaliation. They're facing suspension. I talked to a girl and she said it gave her so much anxiety to go to school because she had panic attacks about it, because it's that feeling of that hand over your face. And then she said they would get suspended if they didn't wear them. So society is being changed. This is it's not just a little local thing. This is big. It's biblical. I'll just tell you that. It's biblical, And God did not give us a spirit of fear, and fear is driving this train. And many parents need to get their children away from this so that people operating out of fear are not making these decisions for their children. And one other thing, I look at history. It repeats itself. One thing you can learn from history is that nobody learns from history. The Holocaust was a horrible thing, right? And you look back and you say, well, how did all these people, how did they all get compelled to do such evil? You see them, they had children, they had families, but they all were instigated. They were riled up to do the wrong thing. And they were on the wrong side of history. And I will say this, if your hand is that hand that is behind that mask holding it in place, then you're going to be on the wrong side of history.
Thank you, Lynn.